Hey, good morning, everyone. Today is May 16th, 2025. It is a Friday. Got a lot of goals for the day. Woke up at 8:15, played some Schedule 1 until 8:45, played some Counter-Strike right after that, and then just sat on my phone here for a little bit. Um, I'm like super understimulated, so focusing has been difficult, but I'm gonna do my best. I need to brush my teeth, make a morning video log, edit and upload video log, just do a little bit of yard work, and then we're gonna go to my mom's school at 12:30 and help with her class's field day, and then I need to trim up the beard, do that stuff. I gotta work later, and then I want to water my sprouts and take photos, and then my friend said he'd bring my book on Friday. I don't know if he meant to my house or to work, so I gotta text and ask real quick. But yeah, other than that, just me editing videos, and yeah, gonna be a pretty solid day. Um, I went to bed late last night and woke up early, so I'm super tired. So probably gonna have to just pass out right after work. But weekends, I always end up getting a lot of little sleep, and all weekends I always end up getting very little sleep. So whatever. Anyways, I'll see you all tonight. I hope you have a wonderful day. Yeah, see ya.
One eternity later.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Today, Jesus, I don't know what that was. Not enough cloud storage, I see. Anyways, today is May 16th, 2025. It was Friday. I'm sunburnt, which is pretty interesting to see on camera. So goals for the day were to brush teeth, morning video log, which had a star. I had made one Thursday and I missed it Tuesday this week, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, brush teeth, morning video log, edit video logs, and upload them. Do some yard work. Be at my mom's school at 12:30 for our field day, and invite my friend. Trim my beard, go to work, water the sprouts, and take a photo, and remind my friend to bring me my book. The book that I was missing was this one, and it has been replaced, so that's pretty exciting. So that's one goal done. Did water the sprouts and take photos, did do work. Did not trim my beard today. I'll need to do that tomorrow morning before work. We'll see if I get around to it. And then I did go to my mom's school for field day. It was actually really fun. I got sunburnt because I was doing yard work right before it, and then we went and were out in the sun all day. And I did invite my friend. He didn't want to go. Not a big deal. And then did edit and upload vlogs. Got two in, so I'll have to edit and upload vlogs on Sunday, or else I'm cooked. And then did do my morning video log and did brush my teeth. So woke up at 8:15, played Schedule 1 for half an hour, and played CS:GO for a little while. And then scrolled on my phone, edited my morning video. I edited a video log and made my morning video log. And then I edited another video log right after, went to the bathroom, did some yard work. And then Ava wanted a Whopper from Burger King, so I went and got some Burger King. I crushed like a 12-piece mozzarella fry. It was so good. And then we went to the field day at my mom's school. It was actually really fun. We literally just walked in, got visitors badges, went upstairs, and then yeah, pretty much just waited for it to come inside. They were at recess, right? So they came inside, and we all like sat there for a second. Then we went over what the stations were, and then we went through all the stations, and then the first person we talked to was like the PE teacher, and she was like, "Hey, you guys can do like a couple different things. You can pick a station to help with, and be like at that station for all the kids. You can run water buckets. There's a couple water stations. You can just go and refill buckets. That'll be like your job, or you could just hang out with your mom's class the whole time." We were like, hang out with my mom's class the whole time. So we literally just did that, dude. It was really fun. And I think my mom was grateful that she had help like corralling the students, because she kind of had wanderers, dude, or like wanderers might not be the right word, like very independent kids. Like they'd kind of just sit there after a station was done, and like there was this one kid who kept like every water station he would untie his shoes, take off his shoes, take off his socks, put them in his shoes, play for 5 minutes. So we get like 10 minutes at each station, play for 5 minutes, come back, put on his socks, put on his shoes, retie his shoes, and then he'd have 5 minutes at the next station. And so he ended up having to do that like three times because there was three different water stations. And so it was just like, dude. And I mean, I sat there with the kid who was just like, yeah, let's do it, man. You're good. And then we like did an obstacle course, did some rock wall climbing. There was like a couple different water events. There was like a frisbee toss. There was like a rest area. There was a popsicle stand or whatever. It was really cool. We went to a mall, and kids would literally just walked up to me randomly and just hugged me, and I'd be like, cool. It was very cool. It was very funny. Very fun day. While yeah, so, and then afterwards, I was like, I'm about to get distracted, but I don't want to. And then, let's see. Yeah, so after the field day, we went back to the classroom, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go home and just hang out for a little while before I go to work. Came home, played some video games, and then went to work. Work was actually pretty fun. It was Friday, and it was decently busy. There was a table of 14, and then ended up being like more like 18. And then a table of 11 tried to come in, and we were like, we just don't have space. You're going to have to wait like 20, 25 minutes. Like, they have to clear out everything. We have to clean the table, get it ready. And they were like, oh, can't you just like have us like split booths? And we were like, no, like we're not even supposed to like take walk-ins over 6 on Fridays. Like, you don't have a reservation. We didn't know you were coming. We weren't really prepared. You're like, there's gonna be a wait. And they were like, no, could we just like do this? And I was like, no. And we had Circa telling him no the whole time, and it was just like, no, dude, definitely not. No one wants to take that. But yeah, work was fun. Work was interesting. Um, Saw a couple regulars. This dude Bernie came in. He was like, "Dude, you're growing out your hair. That's crazy." And he like had a borderline like buzz cut. And he showed me a picture of his old hair, and it's just like this curly like mass on his head. I was like, "Holy cow!" Like, I didn't know you had a ton of hair like that. It's crazy. And then that was a really interesting interaction. Bernie's super cool. And then let me think. Yeah, a couple regulars came in. I was playing video games on my phone. That was really fun. And then making sure my phone was charging for work tomorrow. Yeah, and then Circa asked a question that I thought was really interesting. She asked, like, why do we unlearn all the lessons? And I kind of like, it's kind of weird talking to teenagers about it, because like I know they're like girls, so they're more mature and like self aware and everything, but it's not like they're conscious of themselves. They're not conscious of their society yet, right? So they're not conscious of their society and the impact on the individual from society, and the impact on society from the individual, and all these things, right? So I basically talked about like how society learns in phases, and we kind of like repeat the same learning cycles over 100 to 150 years. And so it's like I kind of had to explain like she was talking specifically about like homophobia, and it's like how come we got to a point where it was like homosexuality was bad and illegal. And I even brought up, like, I think I was the one who actually brought that up, of just like, it is so weird that just there's a place where being homosexual is literally illegal. Like, that is so weird. Like, that is just so out there, because for me it's just normal. Like, man can love man, woman can love woman. It's free country, bro. You could do what you want, right? You're free from the federal repercussions of your personal decisions, as long as they're within the law, right? And it's like a law should only be a law if it's like dangerous for others, right? Or like or like obvious, right? Like, thou shalt not steal. Stealing is illegal. Obviously. Thou shalt not kill. Killing is illegal. Obviously. Don't bribe politicians. Illegal. Obviously, right? Like things that are obviously illegal. It's just so, well, like homosexuality being illegal is just insane to me, right? And so she brought up that like learning in cycles, and I kind of hope I drove the point home of like 100 to 150 years ago, when America decided like homosexuality bad, right? Like, we kind of have had this preconception since like biblical times of homosexuality bad, right? And it's like, as the Bible was translated, pedophilia became homosexuality. Like, they talked about that a lot. Like, mistranslations end up like redefining a lot of things for us culturally, right? And so there's this whole like homosexuality bad concept, right? So it's illegal. Essentially, what happened is, like, America had a loneliness epidemic. Like, it was very difficult for a man to get with a woman and have children. The birth rate was declining. Men and women weren't getting together and getting married as much as they should have, right? And so you end up having this homosexuality outlawing. And so it's like, I hope I got the point across. The internet changes so much. Like, having widespread connection across the world changes everything. Literally everything about what we know what it is to be human. But when you have a loneliness epidemic, the people who have the power, men are the ones who make the system and have the right to vote, they end up pushing policies that force their group to have the advantage, right? People in power remain in power. That's just it. Like, that's literally it. They want to have more, right? And it's like, it's absurd to me. Like, they want to have more. They want to get girls. Like, every guy wants to get girls. Or if they're gay, every guy wants to get guys. Like, that's human. That's regular human. But to outlaw homosexuality, and I understand that AIDS was a thing and people didn't really know what it was and people were dying from it, right? And I understand that the Bible had been mistranslated as homosexuality is a sin, right? And so they sit there and go, "Oh, no, you can't be gay. That's not cool in the Bible, right?" But at the end of it, it's men wanting women to be with men and women wanting women to be with men. Like, and women wanting men to be with women, right? And so it's like this birth rate thing, you know, and this loneliness epidemic and how you tackle it, and that kind of led into the conversation of like, we are more connected than we've ever been, but two people who are next door neighbors, born on the same day at the same time, the same hospital, can go home to their two houses that are within 100 feet of each other, grow up, go to the same schools, have the same classes, eat the same food, go to the same grocery stores. Everything is the exact same. And we live in a day and age where they can believe and think and want two entirely different things for the world, which is unprecedented in human history. And that's really the daily thought is we're more connected than ever with the world, but we're more disconnected than ever with our communities. And it's insane to think we live in a time where I can think something completely different from my neighbor, despite us having extremely similar life experiences, because what we see on the internet directly affects and shapes who we are and who we have become and who we will become in the future. Right? So it ends up being this weird limbo area of, I think this because I've seen this, you saw it and think something else. We must just disagree fundamentally. But if we hadn't had the internet and we'd gone outside and talked to each other, we wouldn't have had those disagreements. We would have talked it out together, and we would have ended up on the same page about things, right? And that's how you get into the ideology that overall America is very center right. Like, we're very center right politically, right? But we have large groups of people who don't communicate directly with people on opposite sides of the spectrum to find that we all fundamentally agree with each other. There's a very couple minute issues that are absolutely piercing issues and absolutely poke holes in every single conversation that people have. And I've talked about it a couple times in my video logs. The four horsemen of the American issues, right? There's cost of living crisis, mental health, I would say, is the fourth one, media suppression, and it's not political incompetence, that's the fifth one. There's one other thing, but gosh, I always miss one of the four horsemen. But cost of living, mental health, and might have something to do with healthcare actually, but that and media suppression. So media suppression ends up having us pit against each other for things we typically agree on as a whole. But when you look at the top 10 of the biggest issues in America, none of them are like critical, piercing issues that end up like swinging voters. Like, immigration is not in the top 10 issues in America. It's just not, dude. It's literally just not. And it's crazy to say that. Immigration is not in the top 10 issues of America. Trans anything, not in the top 10 issues of America. Gay or racial anything, gender bias, all of that is not even in the top 10 biggest issues facing the average American. There are at least 10 other things at play that affect every single person in America on the whole more than all those issues, and those are what people are piercing, right? And so one of the piercing issues. I'm in the middle of a video log. No, it's okay. I'm yapping. Anyways, so one of the biggest piercing issues is healthcare. A lot of politicians talk about healthcare, and not a lot gets done. And that's America. A lot gets talked about, and not a lot gets done. But that's within the top 10. And people don't care to listen to an issue in the top 10 because it's not as emotionally driving as abortion, trans, gay, sexism, racial, anything. It's not as emotionally piercing as those five, dare I say, on average, across all of America, I would almost call them non issues. Because it doesn't affect half of us. It literally doesn't affect half of us. Like, the percentage of trans, gay, whatever, doesn't affect half of us. We see it out in public, but we're not a part of those communities. We're not a part of those communities. Like, when you think about abortions, half of America are women. 30% of them literally are what's it called? Pre-PMS, prepubescent, and of that 30, at least 30% of them are either prepubescent or post-menopause. Doesn't apply to them. So you have less than half of America that abortion, anything even affects. But it's a piercing issue for them when they're affected more so by the cost of living crisis, mental health epidemic, media suppression, political incompetence. Like, they're affected more by these things. They're affected more by these things. But the emotionally piercing ones are what actually cause them to go out and swing their vote and vote and fight. And it's like, it's so stupid. But it's very interesting that we live in a day and age with the internet, because I can sit here and go, oh yeah, these emotionally piercing things don't matter. Like, they genuinely don't matter. And I can live right next door to someone who's sitting there going, why are these goddamn politicians always talking about the economy? The economy doesn't matter. Get the trans people back in the sport they belong. Like, we can have a community, a literal neighborhood, where I'm sitting here going, rationally, these things don't matter. We have to talk about the economy. And they're sitting there going, of course the economy doesn't matter if the trans people are in their sports. Like we can have that kind of dynamic because of the internet. And it's crazy. It's just something we're literally, I grew up with. Like, I'm growing up with this. I'm becoming a man with this occurring. That's crazy to me. And it's like there are going to be children growing up who literally think completely different things as people within a block radius of them. And it's like, I'm experiencing that today. Like, I'm very centrist for my state. I'm very centrist for my town. Right? I'm very, like, rational, logical. If it makes sense, it makes sense. And there are so many people who don't agree with that. Like, don't agree with me. And that's crazy. That's wild that we can live in a day and age where that happens. I'll stop the app now. I'm gonna set some goals for tomorrow. Brush teeth. Morning video log. I'm gonna do work. Food before work. What do I want to get to? I'm gonna write fold towels. And I'm going to, I want to do something else. I don't know what though. I'm going to take out office plus bathroom trash. Sick. That'll be sick. Okay, I'm headed to bed, so I will talk to you all tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful May 16th. And yeah, I'll see you in the morning. Have a good night.